guys. Welcome to the first official episode of the Tinfoil Bat. On this show, me and my co host Luke are going to be doing a deep dive into the news, leaks, and rumors surrounding Matt Reeves' The Batman Saga. On this episode, we are going to be trying to figure out who the villain is for the Batman Part 2. But before we get to that, it's news time. Luke, you want to tell us what this is about?
Yeah, I figure, considering we both share the same first name. So basically, Luke Hull has been hired as the new production designer for Part 2. Unfortunately, James Chinland couldn't come back because he's doing Narnia at the moment. I think we found this out on Halloween, and in the past day or so, I can't really remember, he put up these sort of cryptic posts on his Instagram from Liverpool and Glasgow. And it seems like he's doing some location scouting.
Yeah, definitely getting Batman vibes from these pictures.
Oh yeah. I think the only thing we should clarify is I think for the Liverpool one, the kind of
It
thing that
it
looks like
looks like
tunnels.
a creepy tunnel, but
Hmm.
it's
It is
apparently not a creepy tunnel.
it is not a creepy tunnel. It is the ceiling structure for St. George's Hall, which is the building that we saw in the Batman. It was
Yeah, it's
the
from the
Gotham City
funeral.
Hall.
Yeah, it's what they use
Hmm.
for the funeral building where they do the funeral for
Uh,
the mayor.
but apart from that, we don't really have anything much to say. There's not really, they're
Hey,
fairly cryptic. Not,
we could theorize a little bit, but it'd be real reaching stuff. Like
yeah.
that top image is the one with the cherubs. It's probably we haven't identified this location. If anybody knows,
Mhm.
please let us know. It's probably from what's it called? The cemetery, the
Oh,
Glasgow Cemetery.
Necropolis.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Your
I've
cool
heard,
word
yeah, I've
for
had
it. Yeah.
someone, yeah, I've heard someone who's from Glasgow. They theorized that it could be Necropolis, but it could also be city chambers. It could be any number of locations. So for the
Surprisingly
moment,
hard to find. Just
yeah.
searching cherubs in
Hmm.
buildings in Glasgow. Um,
But for the moment, we're nothing sort of too substantial yet. But still, any news is good news. So
it's nice to start getting some crumbs here.
exactly, yeah, yeah.
Gonna put the phone away. So before we get into like the meat of the episode, we kind of need to cover what we know about the Batman Part 2.
Hmm.
So fact 1, the seeds of where this goes are all in the first movie. That's a quote from Matt Reeves. Fact 2, it's going to be a winter setting. We know it takes place a little bit after the Penguin. Could be Christmas time because they didn't cover Christmas in the Penguin TV series. It could be a New Year's movie. Like we know there's a holiday in the first one. Maybe there's gonna be a holiday in the second one.
We know
Fact,
it's going to be snowing at least. It's
yeah,
going to be snowy if we're to believe from
true,
Penguin,
true.
where it's
Yep.
been. So,
All right, then our third fact
uh,
here is the villain digs into Bruce's past and life. It's like
and that's
that's
from
a really it
the
feels
red
huge.
carpet.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that one feels really significant. But I will say the Riddler dug into Bruce's past and life, and he
yeah.
doesn't
I think,
typically in the comics dig into his past and life. So that it
yeah,
might
yeah.
mean all we know. That's all we know is he's gonna dig into his past and life. But could be many characters that they make dig into his past and life.
Hmm.
So let's go to fact four. Fact. Let's go to fact 4. The villain hasn't really been done in a movie before. The wording on this one's a little suspect because he says how has it
Yeah,
really been
really.
done? Yeah.
So, could be someone completely new, but could be maybe a total reinvention like Riddler was, but we'll have to see.
All right. Fact 5. The Penguin series helped set up the film, but Penguin has a smaller role. We know Penguin's not going to be the big villain in this sequel.
No.
Fact 6. The movie focuses more on Bruce Wayne and the psychology of Bruce slash Batman.
Hmm. And that's from Colin Farrell. I think he said that on
Yep.
a press
Yeah,
junket for
he's
one
been
of
saying
his
a lot.
films. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's been treating us.
All right. Fact 7 is it's going to dig deeper into corruption. Probably not a surprise there.
No.
Fact 8 is that Bruce is unsure about the role of Batman in the Gotham due to how gray things have become. Um, I'm pretty sure this is referring to he's uncertain who his allies are with police now being corrupt. He's now
I
learned that
think
they're corrupt.
it's that, yeah, I think it's this thing is that he kind of had a very Boolean black and white view of good guy, bad guy. But now I think because of like Selena and everything that happened in the first film with like Riddler. I think it's kind of a bit more shady. It's like who is you can't really box people in, so that'll be interesting to see in the second film for sure.
All right, and then our final fact. This one's a doozy. You want to talk about this one really quickly?
Yeah, yeah. So this is I think this is from Esquire, Matt Reeves interview for Esquire, and it kind of went under the radar. But I can I'll just pull up the
Yeah, if you
actual
want to read it.
quote now,
The the
and I'll try
this
and kind of,
the summary here is that the film is going to deal in some way with intentional media manipulation. This is
yeah.
nobody's really talking about this quote. It's old too. This is like a couple years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It's from, I think, uh Penguin release date, so like a year ago. So like kind of around that time. I'll just breeze through it now. So basically, the intense division that there is right now, on the one hand, you say it's a thing going on in the United States. Obviously, Gotham is an American city, but really it's worldwide. There's just tremendous division, the way the world gets its information, its news. Everybody's in their own silo. That sense of the environment of today where it's just very easy for people to be completely separate and at complete odds. That's definitely one of the things that we're looking at in Gotham. Some of that is just the way society is, but some of that is intentional, and to the degree that it's intentional and how it fits into the larger picture of what the motivations behind that might be, that's one of the things we're exploring as well. And that's Matt Reeves there speaking for Esquire. So yeah, very, very potent sort of bit of information on part two there. Uh,
All
we can
right,
go into that, but we've got
we
a
will
lot to
come back
cover.
to that.
So
Yep.
yeah,
Pin
yeah,
a
yeah,
pin in
totally,
it.
totally.
I'm gonna pull up our rogues gallery here, our rogues shooting gallery, and we're gonna just start knocking some villains off the board who will definitely not be in the
The big bad.
sequel, or at the very least, not the big bad. They could have a
Yeah,
small
yeah, because
part.
some of these because we know Penguin's going to be in the
He's gonna be
sequel, but
there. Yeah, he's just not the big
yeah,
bad.
yeah, but he's not going to be big bad. So let's
All
just
right, so no
eliminate
Penguin. We
that
know
first row.
that. Riddler, maybe he'll appear
No,
again, but he won't be the big bad.
no Catwoman.
Catwoman, she might not even be in the movie, honestly.
Who knows?
Joker, I doubt they're gonna do a sequel that has Joker as the big villain. It's very The Dark Knight, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he'll probably be. I mean, I think he'll be there, but that's just a
He
theory.
could be. Yeah, yeah. But maybe Barry Keoghan, he's doing those Beatles films, so we'll see.
Maybe we won't see him. Yeah.
Who
Okay.
knows?
Falcone, he's dead. He got shot, so put a bullet hole in
He's
him.
shot, so that's fine.
Uh, Court of Owls, definitely a possibility. Everybody's talked forever
Hmm.
about Court of Owls. We have our own little
And what we've
theories for
heard,
that, but so
it feels like,
we're gonna give them a
yeah,
question
it
mark.
could be.
It's
It could
possible.
be,
It's definitely
definitely.
possible. We can't say no to that. Deadshot.
Hmm.
On vibes
No,
alone, he's not going to be the big bad, but I would
no,
love to
no.
see Deadshot as like a secondary character in there. I think Mad Hatter is one that is like very borderline for us that he could have a bigger role, but I
He could
just
be in there,
doubt it.
but he'd be the one I'd feel like I could definitely see him in the movie, but
Hasn't been done
I don't think
before
he'll
at
be.
all.
Hmm.
That's for sure. Um,
But yeah, I don't think he'll be big bad.
I'm gonna take him
So
off the board here, but I think he's
yeah,
one. Hey, this we could be real wrong here. That's possible.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Happy to be wrong.
Firefly.
No,
Firefly's not gonna be the big bad. I don't think so.
no, no, no.
Hush. Everyone's talking about
That's
Hush. Putting a question
We
mark
know he's
on
a
Hush.
favorite. He's a favorite of Matt Reeves. There's that little tease in the first
It's
film.
not even. It's not even really a tease. Like he has the guy's dad, or
Yeah, yeah,
probably his dad. I think in the comics it's actually his grandfather that's named Edward Elliot,
sure.
but who knows? But yeah, they have some origin stuff, setting up a reason for vengeance. If they brought this character in, they flashed the words "hush" on the screen,
Hmm.
in relation to Hush Money, but that would be their little reinvention of the name. So gotta put a question mark on him. All right, Bane, no way.
No,
I think with
no,
this
no.
one we're gonna say that like no Bane because it this is so focused on Gotham and Bane is this out of Gotham character coming into Gotham that I think that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
goes
yeah.
thematically against what they're doing. All right, Poison Ivy. This one's gonna hurt you. I know you're a big Poison Ivy fan. She's not gonna
Hmm.
be the big
But I
bad.
don't think. No, no, no. I don't think so. But who knows
I
if she'll
think
appear? We'll see.
I think if they reinvented Poison Ivy, to be realistic, she's going to be like an eco terrorist. That's just what makes the most
Yeah, yeah.
sense. And I just that's not the direction they're going.
No.
thematically. Scarecrow. What do you think?
No. Well, he could be in it, but I don't know if he'd be the big bad per se. Again, who knows? I just don't know.
It's a tough
If
one.
he, if
He's kind of on
it's
the
a
board
tricky one.
too.
Yeah. He's kind of borderline. He'd
Um,
be sort of, but I think for,
yeah,
we'll just
we're gonna
say,
place that he's not gonna be the big bad.
yeah.
Two Face. I think again,
No,
it's very
I
The
don't.
Dark Knight. He's not gonna be the big bad, but maybe Harvey Dent will be there. I think is very
I think
possible.
most likely, I think I'd put like money on that Harvey Dent will be there,
Yeah,
but he won't be big
they
bad.
killed the DA in the first one. They need a new
Hmm.
DA. It's probably gonna be Harvey Dent, but he is not gonna be Two Face. I mean, okay,
No.
wait, real quick. Do you think it's possible he gets scarred in this
I
movie, and they
think
leave it like, oh, he's injured, and that character's out of the movie, and then he comes
no.
back in the later?
I think they'd save that for the third film. I think Matt would really want to sort of prolong that sort of
Well, maybe they
turmoil, that
scar
arc.
him, and then they give him a TV show. No, I
Maybe, but no. I
probably
think that's
not.
a part three territory if I had to put money on it. But
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, he's getting shot. Ra's al Ghul, just no.
no,
Ra's al Ghul,
same
not happening.
same reason as Bane. He's kind of a outsider coming into Gotham. He's not sort of of the city in that sense, like molded by the corruption of it.
Yep,
So no, I don't
that's
think
right.
we'll
Yep,
see him.
he's not gonna happen. And he's been done. And he's been done in a
Sure, yeah,
fairly grounded way too.
yeah,
So
and we'll probably see him in the James Gunn
yeah,
DCU
totally. That's
thing.
a good
So
point. And I
yeah,
think on that same note, Clayface, we know they're making a Clayface movie, which to me is
hmm
enough to take him off the board.
yeah,
Hugo Strange, this is the one I have like the most excitement about. I think Hugo Strange is
yeah.
really possible. I mean, of a character that's going to deal with the psychology of Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
He hits the nail on the head on that one. And that would be going into his past. I think if he was connected to Arkham in some way, that would dig into Bruce's past. Just a real. Oh, he also in the comic Prey deals with intentional media manipulation. He's like talking up like how bad Batman is and like why Batman is what he is to the news. I could see that happening. So I'm gonna put a question mark on him.
Hmm.
Mr. Freeze. This one is gonna hurt.
No, I
It's
don't
gonna hurt
think
a lot of
so.
people. I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I know he's kind of become a fan favorite in regards to like, oh, he'll be the villain for
People
part
just like
two.
to make those blue
Uh,
posters. It's all about the blue
yeah, they
Batman
really like,
part two posters.
and they and the winter setting, and
Yeah,
they think, oh,
I get it.
I get
Yeah,
it, but no, I don't think he'll be. It just feels
he's
it wouldn't really fit
he's not
in a
using the
tonal
freeze
sense, not
ray
in a
to freeze the flood
yeah,
waters, guys. It's not happening.
yeah.
Also, the
Like it's not even an
flood
issue of
waters are gone.
yeah. It's not even an issue of being grounded as much as it's an issue of just the emotional trajectory wouldn't really sort of suit him, if that makes sense.
People are gonna fight you on that one.
Yeah, I know.
Killer Croc. No,
No,
no.
no, he's not gonna be a big bad.
Um, Killer Moth. I don't even know why I put Killer
No.
Moth on here. Sorry for all the Killer
Eh,
Moth fans. Harley Quinn. I mean, I could see Harley Quinn being in this
no.
if it's Arkham centric, which we think is possible.
Maybe. I
Um,
don't know. I think Margot
she's
Robbie
never
kind of
gonna be a
casts a
big
big
bad.
shadow.
Yeah, Margot Robbie does. Yeah. She's
So
never gonna be the big bad anyway. She would probably be there
no.
in relation to Joker in some way.
Hmm.
Thought I'd check if my mic is on. It is, as you all know. All right. Deathstroke, definitely not happening.
No.
No way.
He's not even a Batman villain.
He's
So
not even a Batman villain. He shouldn't even be on here either. He's off.
yeah.
Man Bat.
No.
I think this is one that we can just say is not. It's too unrealistic. Like as a character, he's
Yeah.
fantastical in a way that makes grounding him in the way Matt Reeves does very difficult. That being
Yeah.
said, I could conceptualize something that is a cool, grounded man bat. I think everybody would hate it, but I would love it. We get like a red dragon ass man bat. He's trying to transform spiritually almost,
You
but
could, yeah,
not,
it'd be interesting, but
it's not gonna
that's a
happen.
whole other discussion.
Yep. Ventriloquist,
Not as a
adorable.
big bad, no.
Not gonna be a
Yeah,
big bad.
no.
Um, And then
and
Phantasm,
Phantasm.
kind of a
I
weird one to I put in here, but I feel like it's a
yeah,
story that Matt Reeves would really like and relate to and connect with.
I think
Uh,
he would pull from it, but I don't think he would
that's
straight
kind of
up
why I wanted it
adapt.
in here because I think it's something that he could definitely be pulling from. But
Hmm.
is Phantasm gonna be the big villain? No. All right, and that leaves our three villains. Three potential
Court of
villains here:
Owls,
Court of Owls,
Hush,
Hush, and Hugo
and Hugo
Strange.
Strange.
All right, and with
Yeah,
that, I think it's tinfoil time.
tinfoil time.
So yeah, I have a tinfoil hat theory here about the Paranoia trilogy. So when Matt Reeves made the first movie, he talked in interviews about both of these movies. This is All the President's Men, which is about Watergate, and then another movie he talked about a lot is Clute, which is like a classic noir film about a man and a woman and the detective, and their relationship is what he used as big inspiration for Catwoman and Batman's relationship in the first movie. And so Matt Reeves talked
And
about both of these films, which are
yeah,
part of Alan J. Pakula's Paranoia trilogy. But he never
mhm.
mentioned the third movie of this Paranoia trilogy, and that third movie is called Parallax View. Which would you actually summarize Parallax View for me real quick?
Okay, sure. Yeah, so the parallax view is basically it's another conspiracy movie about a journalist looking into sort of these kind of killings and who's behind them, and finding out there's this sort of kind of shady company that is basically enlisting people and doing some kind of MK Ultra kind of brainwashing techniques to kind of make them kind of almost like assassins, as it
Yeah.
were.
So I watched this movie because I had heard somebody talk about this. It was my original idea or my original thought here that maybe he watched all three of these movies in preparation for writing the Batman. We know that's a part of his process is to watch a bunch of classic movies, classic noir movies. And this trilogy, like if he's watched two of these movies, he's probably seen all of them. I will say.
Hmm.
Um, and so I just thought I'd watch the movie because I hadn't seen the Parallax View. I'd seen these others two. And while I was watching it, my jaw dropped because there's something that people are not talking about this movie, and that is that the third act of the Parallax View very directly parallels the third act of the Batman. So like the final part of, and this is huge spoilers for this 1970s film, um, but in his investigation, the main character of the Parallax View uh, ends up following what he thinks is an assassin, who is going to this. It's a rally. It's not exactly a rally. It's like a test run for a rally, but it takes place in this big event center, and he has a big audience around him, and there's an assassin up in the catwalk, and this catwalk looks so similar to the catwalk from the end of the Batman. And so you have these two scenes that just really directly parallel each other. And I think it's if you watch this scene, it would be impossible for you to say that he didn't take some inspiration for this set piece from the Parallax View. And I think the tinfoil bat theory of this is that he he probably doesn't want to mention that he watched this movie and took inspiration from it, because I think if you are a Batman fan and you watch this movie that is about brainwashing a super agent secret assassins, like it's so Batman villain. It's like very much something that Mad Hatter would do, something that you can just see a Batman villain doing. And I think he hasn't mentioned it because he doesn't want us to be on to him about the sequel and the like ideas that are going to be present in that movie that he has also taken from this movie. So that's my big theory. I think there's going to be something to do with brainwashing, and I'll get into that
And I
in our
think,
next
yeah, I think that's a good segue into the sort of the
best
sort of
segue I
theorizing
can do
time.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
What we think
This is kind of
part two
our
could be.
yeah, our current running theory based on the information we know about what the plot of the sequel is going to be.
Yeah, and some of these are again, these are kind of it's kind of an amalgamation of kind of different theories I like we have. Like some are kind of more developed than others. So
But they all work kind of
I'd say
cohesively.
yeah, they're all along the same lines and they're all working from kind of the same kind of tidbits we've been given that we've kind of gone through in the sort of previous segment.
Uh, so I think we should start with how we would do Hugo Strange, and
Hmm.
there's this like historical figure a lot of people don't know. His name is Henry Murray. He was a psychologist from. I mean, he was doing work during like World War II, but he was also rumored to be involved in MK Ultra, which is everything he was involved with is very much what they took inspiration from for writing the parallax view. So that's another part of that through line there. I think if you were doing a realistic version of Hugo Strange, you would be basing him on Henry Murray. The stuff this guy did was like really messed up, and
Yeah, it connects to the Unabomber as well, like in his college days. There's, it's very kind of
worth a
messed up
Wikipedia
sort of.
read if you can stomach it.
Yeah,
It's pretty
definitely.
rough.
Yeah, bit
Uh,
of sort of grisly homework.
some of the main stuff that he was doing that you can see how it would translate to like I think this is like would be how they would do Hugo Strange's Monster Men in a more realistic way. He basically like some people believe he essentially is the reason why the Unabomber became the Unabomber. He what was his name? The Unabomber's name?
Oh, it's Ted. Well, I can't remember.
Ted
Yeah, his
Kaczynski.
second
Thank
name is
you. Yes.
Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ted Kaczynski was a part of trial or what would you call it like where they did had a bunch of test subjects that they were working with.
Yeah, I'd say like a sort of kind of like a trial, sort of, kind of test run sort of thing.
Yeah, they
You
basically
know,
were like flashing weird images in front of these people and then like asking them to make connections and stuff between these pictures. Like that's a big part of it. Like I'm not a psychologist, but like that's what they do in the parallax view. You see that guy strapped to
yeah.
that chair
It's
and
also
watching a weird messed up video essentially.
it's very also Clockwork Orange. Like I think
Yes,
of a lot of
totally.
people that would probably be a
Yeah,
big,
this
you know,
influenced a lot of like fiction, so it would not be out of the ordinary for this to influence a Batman movie at all. I think if you do implement Hugo Strange like that, I think he'd be somebody working at Arkham, and that's kind of another part of our theory here. Is I think Hugo Strange potentially would have been like a psychiatrist at Arkham back when the murder suicide of the Arkhams happened. And I think potentially he might have even been the one to have orchestrated that. Like he would have been like a young doctor at that time, assuming he's like a 60-year-old man now at the current time. Um, but like there's clear motives there that he might have wanted to get the Arkhams out of the way so he could continue whatever crazy experiments he's doing, or maybe he just wants to run
yeah.
Arkham. Like if he is now, I would think this character would be showing up as like some type of warden of some kind.
But it could also be, yeah, that maybe either it's a sort of simple frame job, like just framed, like murdered them both and
It
made it
might
look
not,
like a
yeah.
murder suicide.
It might not
But it also
literally
could
be
be,
brainwashing too. We don't know how they would implement that
yeah,
idea.
it could be a sort of because it'd be interesting, almost kind of like a sleeper cell agent type of thing. I don't know
I think that'd
how
be cool. I think that,
fantastical that would
yeah, I
be.
think that might be a little too unrealistic for what they want to do. Like
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people
yeah,
believe that stuff's real. I don't really think that stuff's real personally. I think a more realistic take on it, in kind of how it actually is portrayed in the parallax view, is that they're just taking people who are already have like a inclination for violence or whatever, um, and then they just send them over the edge essentially, and
yeah.
like direct them,
Which
give them a
maybe,
mission.
yeah, which you could say maybe that's what Martha's mother, she had that inclination
You're
because
right.
we
Yeah.
know that Matt sort of said that, about kind of Bruce being afraid of inheriting his mother's illness, like mental illness, that
So
is.
yeah, I think that's the digging into his past part that we're going to be seeing, because I could see it's very possible that uh Hugo Strange, maybe Martha wasn't crazy. Like that's going to be the reveal of this
Mm,
movie. She's not crazy. She just knows that her mom would not have killed her dad and killed herself. Like that,
yeah,
and that's what drove her insane. Like she didn't literally go insane. She was just like, "Guys, this is not what happened." and then Hugo Strange is like, we gotta put her away. We can't have her talking about
And
this.
it
Makes her
also
think she's
it
crazy.
yeah, it also
Gaslighting.
parallels what happens to Sophia in Penguin as well. She's
Totally.
put in Arkham
Yeah,
because she
we
finds out her
know that
dad's
this
dirty
Arkham
business.
we know that this Arkham is used this way, where they'll put people away
Hmm.
who are like political enemies essentially. Like I like that they put Falcone had them putting people away. So Falcone was working with Arkham to um
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then they tried to frame Sophia Falcone, or they tried to set her up so that like they did frame her, and then while she was in Arkham, they tried to have her attack somebody to even more so make her look guilty and make her look crazy. So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then they like I think there was something about they were like they basically like showed these people and told them, "Oh, you did this thing over and over again." So there
yeah.
is
Some
some
definitely
aspect
like
of brainwashing going
yeah,
on anyway, whether it's
and
with
like
this intent or not.
electroshock therapy
Oh
as
yeah,
well. So it's
yeah.
like it's a modern institution, but they're still doing like a kind of very barbaric sort
They're
of
still doing Hugo
inhumane
Strange
way of
stuff.
treating.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. So there's precedent for it.
And then I think how does Hush come into this picture? 'Cause our theory here is that Hush and Hugo Strange are the big bads together. Um, I had this little concept image I put in here of like the Hush head wraps. Instead of it being head wraps, he's literally dressed up as the corpse of the mayor. I just think it's a cool idea. I don't think it's probably going to happen, but uh, the idea behind this is that like the look of Hush is so iconic. How do you make it make sense in a real world?
Hmm.
It's a little tough, and I think this is one way that really tracks, and then I think another way that is probably the most likely way is that it'll just be kind of a wink and a nod, and maybe Thomas Elliot gets or somebody else. Thomas Elliot would get injured, or like fake an injury to frame Bruce Wayne in the same way that um, like we know that this institution does, trying to get him put away in Arkham, and that would be a big
Yeah,
part of the plot is getting Bruce Wayne sent to Arkham.
because you'd have to think, why would he be wearing bandages? Like,
Yeah,
if it's a disguise, it's like, why not just wear a mask?
yeah, like a
Like, I know
normal.
this
You don't have
seems
to
like kind of
take forever. I don't know. I guess
yeah,
Riddler wrapped his head up like that, but I think that's a part of it
yeah,
is
yeah,
that this I think no matter what, this Hush will always be connected to Riddler. Like they've established his connection to Riddler. So why not
sure,
lean
sure.
into that? Why not make that like a
Hmm.
relevant part of his look is that he's like
Yeah,
especially if, maybe he's like I think a cool plot point would be that he fakes an assassination on Bruce Wayne, right? And so like I could imagine like Bruce Wayne gets shot in the head or something, right? Like that's what happens in the Hush comic. But in the comic, he's dressed as Batman. I think here it would be more likely that he is as Bruce Wayne assassinated and like shot in the head. Um, I think it'd be really cool if like Deadshot was doing it and like he's doing like this like crazy arcing shot so that the bullet has like way less power when it lands, so, like a low powder bullet or something. They could do some cool like detective stuff with that. But either way,
hmm,
the main point there is that you have Thomas Elliot there and he like saves Bruce's life and looks really good because he's a surgeon or whatever. Um, but then he would ultimately like he looks good, and then he ends up making like the whole goal of the movie is them driving Bruce Wayne crazy and getting him sent to Arkham. So like Bruce Wayne would know from the very beginning that Thomas Elliot is the bad guy, right? Like I think that's like a great like way to get away with like that twist doesn't work in the comic. It just does not work. You have this
yeah,
new character, everybody knows he's the bad guy. So I think they should just say it up front. Thomas Elliot's the bad guy. And then
yeah.
he's just gaslighting
I
Bruce
think
Wayne the whole time.
yeah, if you think back to the first film as well, like we knew, like, oh, who's the Riddler? It's like, well, we know who the Riddler
He's the
is, but that
Riddler.
wasn't the main mystery. Yeah, the
Yeah.
main mystery was who is El Lada? What's the whole issue with the
Yeah,
corruption
the
and
deeper
renewal?
corruption.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think it'd be very possible too that if you're not going to be seeing Hush as this bandaged character for the whole movie being the main antagonist, I think they could potentially have a Batman imposter type of inspiration. That
Hmm.
is Mattson Tomlin wrote Batman the Imposter. It's about a guy dressing up as Batman, um, and just being like a way more brutal, lethal Batman. And I think that would play with the themes of the that we seem to be going towards on the sequel really well. Um, uh, I'm not sure everybody would like that as like a main bad. I think it might be more of the type of thing where it's just one part of the movie is that they kind of that's another part of like making it hard for Bruce Wayne to be Batman is that you have this guy going around dressed as Batman, killing people.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he no longer has the allies that he used to have with the police, um, because he's like a wanted criminal. Do you want to talk about this Court of Owls idea that
Yeah.
we have too?
Yeah. So okay. So this is kind of theory is this is theory I came up with. It's kind of it's a bit of it's an embryonic stage. Like I haven't like fully fleshed it out, but the idea would basically be sort of instead of Thomas Elliot being like surgeon, how he usually is depicted in sort of the comics. My idea is since his dad is a journalist, maybe he would follow suit and that he would be working in the media, whether that's newspapers or whether that's maybe kind of broadcast news in, some sort of media, sort of kind of mogul sort of job. And that he would basically be he'd basically be making Batman look bad in the media. And you'd be going into it thinking, oh, he's doing it because, he has a vendetta because, his dad got sort of murdered. But then the sort of twist would be that actually, no, he's doing it because there's this sort of greater sort of company, like this sort of company called like Owl Communications, which would be kind of a reinvention of sort of the Court of Owls as kind of like almost like a sort of like a Fox type kind of like,
Like a
you
media
know,
conglomerate.
yeah, media conglomerate, exactly. And they're sort of saying, no, 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 we can't let people find out like the this sort of thing that's happening. What that corruption would be, I haven't figured out yet. But the idea would be that, they're trying to keep eyes off a certain thing and they're using Bruce or Batman as a kind of scapegoat in the way that sort of media does nowadays. They'll find, whatever gets people riled up and go, look at this, So that's kind of
So
it's
I love this
it's a
idea.
simple,
I love this
yeah.
idea. I think that if the Court of Owls is involved in the movie at all, it'll be something like this. And I think it's a great way to set up a third movie, right? Like you literally would just be dropping that name at some point, or some logo, some name is enough hint to
Hmm.
set up that. I think they wouldn't even need to go that far
Yeah.
into it, especially if like if you have like Hugo Strange doing this Arkham stuff, like we wouldn't know how maybe Court of Owls would be involved in that. That they're like the people behind
But
that, or at least some way involved in that.
yeah. But that's also again, that's kind of me taking from Parallax View with the whole like if you've seen the film, there's these letters and it has like this sort of little logo on it. And that's sort of the idea that,
It could
he'd
be
be
done
looking through the
subtle, yeah.
files. Yeah, that you'd be like, what's this owl logo that keeps showing
Yeah.
up? What's this all about? And then that's kind of the deeper corruption that is this sort of media conglomerate. So yeah, it's a work in progress.
I
Still need
think
to kind of figure out the sort of finer details.
before we wrap up here, I'd kind of want to mention our other theory about the Court of Owls. Like
Hmm.
there's one other potential take that we see them doing, and that is that they and this is your idea. I want to be clear this because I think this is actually the most likely. I think this is a really solid idea that you had, which is that the Court of Owls is the actual court system. Like it's everybody
Oh
involved
yeah,
with the
yeah,
court
yeah,
system. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. How
I
did you
just
forget
thought
this?
let's
It's so
just
good. This is a new theory for us.
yeah, yeah. I literally was just like, okay, well, how would you
It
do it?
makes
What if you just
sense.
take it literally?
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, it's the actual courts. Okay, and it's basically that'd be kind of if you. My point in reference is something like I don't know, like Serpico, where it's like Batman. They're trying to make progress. Maybe him and Harvey are trying to make progress in some way, but they keep getting like keep meeting roadblocks. Like the judges are just sort
yeah.
of
It's just red
they're
tape.
not taking cases. Yeah, it's basically that kind of story. Because I think was it Gil Colson says something when he's talking about like
Yeah,
oh they gave me 20 grand not to prosecute certain cases and the Batman's like what cases and obviously that could just be the Falcone stuff but maybe that's something else.
yeah.
Again that's a
That could be
very early
like
days theory.
we are guessing that the hush stuff is the seeds that he is mentioning when the seeds of
Hmm.
what we're going is in the first movie. But it could be all of that stuff.
Yeah,
It could be the stuff that Falcone kind of mentions as he's being walked out, as he's being like perp walked. He says something about like everything's going to the grave with me or whatever. Um,
yeah, yeah. There's everything's up for grabs in regards to like what is gonna what's going to be the next film?
I think
What's been teased.
where we're coming from here is that we think it's unlikely that they're just going to give us Eyes Wide Shut, Court of Owls for the sequel. Eh,
Yeah, it just feels a bit kind of, I don't know. I just think Matt's going to do a spin on it. It just feels like that's kind of his thing,
I
to
think
make it relevant for our times.
I think it. I This is where we disagree a little bit because I think it is relevant for our times. I think
I
rich
think
rich people
it's
do stuff like this. But that being said, here
rich.
this is my little twist on it. Is that I just it won't be in secret, right? It won't be a
Yeah.
secret party. It'll be like, "Hey, Bruce Wayne, you want to come to our party?" It's just like a fun event thing. And then like
Hmm.
the really shady stuff is done in secret in the back rooms, like right?
Yeah.
Like you
But
like
yeah, I
it's
think
political stuff.
sure. Yeah, the thing that sort of stopped me from thinking, oh, it won't be like an Eyes Wide Shut. It's just in regards to like nowadays, kind of, those who are corrupt, like,
They don't
sort
have
of
to
the
hide.
rich people. No, they don't have to hide. So like it wouldn't be a cloak and dagger type
No, it'd be tongue in cheek
story.
is what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's again, there'd have to be some amount of tinkering, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, I think that's basically everything for this first episode. Uh,
Yeah, I think we've covered all bases pretty articulately,
if you
pretty
like
succinctly, I should say.
if you like what we're doing, we do have a Discord that you can get access to if you give us $3 on our Patreon that we also have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just yeah, if you want to sort of share your theories or poo-poo our ones, feel free to sort of let us know in the comments below as well. We're
Yeah,
happy to hear any sort of feedback.
like and subscribe, all that YouTuber stuff. Thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thanks for watching. We're gonna close it out here.